And it looks like we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I jumped on camera with the last bite of dinner. I apologize. Woo. Been a crazy couple days though, right? I'm just gonna do this. Look, you can't see my face. I don't want to make it weird by eating and streaming and talking. But here we are. I know. It's too late. Let me jump out of the way. Be a little less weird here. Jump off camera entirely for a second. Our fear and greed index shows us that we are at a score of 71. We are definitely in greed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Greed, stacked on greed from yesterday, way up from a feeling of neutrality from before. Taking a look at that trend, last couple of days, we've been almost bordering on extreme greed. And now we're still heading back up towards extreme greed. And is this due to the current price action? Well, yes, definitely. Always due to the current price action. People tend to get more greedy, whether or not they have a rational reason for doing so, when they see the price is up. Whoa! Let me just mention for the record, this is your disclaimer. We are not giving advice here. You're responsible for your own choices. So, act like it. Act like you're responsible for your own choices. It works way better that way. But this is our trend line, guys. We've been steadily moving up along with the price of Bitcoin towards the greed area. Greed is the name of the game right now, guys. As we come up from the 20s into the 30s and stayed in that 30 to 40K channel, people have sort of lost heart. Let's go back and take a look at 3 months. So zoom a little bit farther out. This is the first time we've come up past neutrality into greed in months. Let me do some shout outs, guys. We are a live show, so your comments come through. We're not a large enough channel where we require people to give us super chats or whatever in order to talk to you and read your comments. Go ahead and tell us what you're thinking about. Tell us what you're doing tonight. Tell us what's good in your neck of the woods. Hopefully you're not in California or Oregon where half of the countryside is on fire. But if you are, hey, my heart goes out to you. Sorry about that. Definitely it's affecting a lot of the Western United States and really clear out to, I've got friends in Illinois and friends in Indiana who are saying they're smelling the smoke from the fires in California and Oregon. So hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you are having a good night, regardless of where you are. But we've got some people in the comment section. Cryptid Youth gives us the horn symbol. Guys, throw them up for Savage Mine. Please remember Savage Mine in the comment section tonight. And got Cryptid Youth saying, we know what BTC is going to do next if you've been in the game long enough. LOL. And he's not wrong. We're going to take a look at that in just a little while, guys. I know it's a bit of clickbait if you're just tuning in after the fact and you're not live with us. It's a little bit of clickbait. However, many people do not know what to expect. And that's why we look at indicators like this, right? Sentiment indicators like the fear and greed index. They let us know what to do. For my part, without giving any kind of advice, I usually use this as a counter indicator. What's a counter indicator? Seth, you're asking. I know. Like I said, it's a conversation. I can hear your thoughts. What a counter indicator is an indicator that tells you what not to do. And in my estimation, the way I use this, when it goes towards greed, it tells me, okay, I need to really get focused on, right? Really get my focused thinking going and put the blinders on and figure out what exactly is my next move. I don't want to be caught unaware while everybody else is feeling euphoria and saying, oh my gosh, the price will definitely go up forever. No, it won't go up forever. Now I make my plans as to when I might average out of my positions or when I might just decide like that's a good point for me to take out so much profit or to change my position from one asset to another. That's what I look at when everybody else is greedy. I try to use a little bit of my own logic and think, okay, if everybody's greedy, well, I should probably be just a little bit fearful. And if everybody's fearful, I should probably be just a little bit greedy. Got Sam coming in with big questions saying, Senators moved to exempt Bitcoin miners from tax provision in the infrastructure bill. Decrypt reported it. Yeah, so Decrypt reported it. Also, CoinDesk reported it. Every outlet has reported it, and I will jump right into that as well. Guys, we've got, so with the Fear and Greed Index, this is a measure of the current sentiment. I suspect we're going to see the fear grow just a little bit more tomorrow, or we'll stay in this approximate range or maybe head back towards neutrality because of what people are thinking in terms of the news cycle. So, first off, there was just one senator that basically turned it down. Richard Shelby from Alabama, a Republican from Alabama, filed an objection after attempting to attach his own amendment to the infrastructure bill to increase military spending. Ironically, Bernie Sanders tried to object to the motion. I don't know if it was on the grounds of it having problems with the cryptocurrency provision, or it was on the grounds of Bernie Sanders not wanting it to go towards military spending. But at any rate, Bernie Sanders objected, and then Shelby objected over to the overall compromise, right? The sole person, the stick in the mud, decided to make it terrible for everybody else. And while there's not a full text available for the compromises, and a lot of this is kind of going on behind closed doors, we can't see all of it. There are some other streams from C-SPAN where you can see some of it. I haven't edited any of that here to show any of that in here, but there are some excerpts here and some summaries and such. The summary that they gave is that it would exclude entities that validate transactions, meaning miners or stakers, without providing other services, or entities that sell hardware or software that allow customers to control private keys. So you wouldn't have, for example, Ledger or Trezor or any hardware company that sells full nodes or hardware wallets. They wouldn't meet the definition of broker, according to this compromise. And again, Toomey said in a press conference, we're not proposing anything sweeping or anything radical. The compromise just makes clear that a broker means only those persons that conduct transactions where consumers buy, sell, and trade digital assets. So I still don't know if this is a particularly easy definition to get behind, but like they're saying, it really is a step in the right direction, at least, of having somebody advocate on behalf of the people who are involved in the commerce and in the industry of cryptocurrency, right? So when you're trying to use cryptocurrency in a more practical way and shoehorn it into traditional financial instruments, well, then we do need a little bit more clarification. So this is better than nothing, right? Better than having everybody be classified as a broker. But kind of ironically also, Janet Yellen appeared to be okay with this. I mean, she didn't explicitly endorse it or anything, but she did seem to express support for it. She said, I'm grateful to Senators Warner, Portman, Sinema, Toomey, and Loomis for working together on this amendment to provide clarity on important tax provisions in the bipartisan infrastructure deal that will make meaningful progress on tax evasion in the cryptocurrency market. I'm also thankful to Chair Wyden for his leadership and engagement on these important issues. So kind of interesting that Janet Yellen that she showed some support at all for the clarification. Her whole thing is she's fairly anti-crypto, right? As we know, Janet Yellen is not. She really doesn't operate as our friend. There's also been some nasty dirt come out on her lately about how her speaking fees last year grew her personal net worth by about almost 100%. So basically something like a third of her net worth right now came entirely from remote speaking fees, where she was present at these events via Zoom conference calls, not even in person. So kind of a crazy thing to see her showing some kind of support, maybe even just maybe not even totally in earnest, but showing some support for this provision, right? For this clarification, or at least their attempt at clarifying, because it just seems so obvious that she's not our friend, and that she's willing to bend the rules in order to further her own agenda. So kind of strange that she showed any support at all. Looks like, as it is right now, the legislative body will send the original provisions to the House of Representatives, and then we need to work on the next part of the process together. We may have to continue to make phone calls. We may have to continue to reach out to our representatives, but I think that what we're going to be asking them to do will be significantly different, substantially different from, say, just turning it down. So be prepared. We do have to go through the process. It's a little bit painful. It doesn't seem like it works. I know it sounds like it doesn't work, but we did see these changes happen as a result of phone calls. Ted Cruz, of all people, I did not think would turn out to be some kind of a champion for cryptocurrencies, but here we are with Senator Ted Cruz, talking about some of the clarifications and talking about turning down the provision until it's totally refined. However, I think that a lot of Ted Cruz's interest in it is after seeing hash rate leave from China and then show up in the United States. Well, one of the states that benefited most is Texas. Again, because of that really diverse power generation of the state of Texas, they've got a little bit of everything, and it tends to bring the power costs down because the consistency of the grids is really good. It's really robust. A lot of manufacturing as well in the state of Texas. So they wind up having to do a lot of power generation in the state of Texas in order to continue with heavy manufacturing. It's just a requirement. If you don't have enough power, you can't make things. It's really that simple. And machine stuff and do rapid prototyping and do long-term, big runs of production and fabrication. So yeah, I imagine that Ted Cruz, that he kind of saw like, oh my gosh, we're about to inherit a whole bunch of mining, Bitcoin mining from China and from other areas of the world. So it's possible that he's been able to capture a vision, maybe not of what cryptocurrency can be, but of what Bitcoin and what proof of work mining could do for his constituents in the state of Texas. So I think it's just kind of more of the same, right? He's looking out for his own interest. And of course, he's looking out for the interests of the people who have funded him so far in his political career. So he can't really turn his back on the industry of Texas, or certainly not do that and expect not to, be harmed in some way in the future. So, hey, we got some new comments coming in. Looks like the Deadwood says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. And I see Yankee. He says, don't let it ice for a day. He says, then the whole grid in Texas went down. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see, right? We'll see what happens as more of these different senators finally start to capture a vision of what, like I think Ted Cruz has, of what the cryptocurrency as a proper industry implemented in their states, what it can do to help certain states compete in a way maybe they haven't before. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect there, but I think that now we're seeing this on the national stage, that having it be an issue that all of these senators are forced to take a look at, or at least their staffers are forced to read. I mean, the bill itself, the infrastructure bill, is 2,700 pages with so many other pay-for provisions that are being and revisions that are being sandwiched into this bill. I mean, I'm sure the thing started at only a couple hundred pages, and then once every one of these senators started to have the opportunity to say, okay, well, I'm going to insert this and throw that in there and suggest this to my co-representative and to talk to all these other people about maybe what we could add to this bill. Well, I mean, it just mushrooms out of control, right? A few hundred pages to start, and then after all these senators have their way with it, right, each one of them only writing a few pages themselves, then it's over 1,000 and it's over 2,000 before you know it. And so many revisions before these kinds of bills just balloon into something that it's cartoonishly huge. None of the senators themselves have been able to read the thing from cover to cover. Guaranteed. You could be a speed reader and it's just too many pages, right? They'd have to stop doing everything else that they do. I mean, I know there's in some cases to even alert these senators to the fact that anything was being said about cryptocurrency at all. Some of them would not have been able to. So just throwing that out there. The process, that's why this part of the process matters, is that we just draw their attention to the fact that we want things to change. All right, guys, we got more comments coming in. William says, hey, what's up, Seth? Guys, I apologize. Also, I was out of town for a little bit of time. I don't often broadcast when I'm going to be out of town because it's an OPSEC thing. And I don't often broadcast right when I get back into town. But I didn't have a whole lot for you over the weekend, and I apologize for that. But I'm back. So, yeah, let's check this, the rest of this news story here, though, guys. Wyden, who apparently is a longtime supporter of free markets, has definitely been on board with cryptocurrency, said, I don't believe the cryptocurrency amendment language is on offer is good enough to protect privacy and security, but it's certainly better than the underlying bill. He knew it was a compromise for sure. Gallo says, never apologize for not working on Sunday. Hey, I appreciate that. No, it's important to take a day of rest every week. I guess for my part, guys, I do like trying to talk to you about the current state of the market. So I'll be working on a schedule that is probably a little more sustainable in the near future. But yeah, I feel like I left you a little bit too long in between these sections. We got a lot to catch up on. But it's not the only issue that these senators are working on. Kyle is saying, avoid burnout, please. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I got to work on that schedule to make sure that it's the correct schedule, guys. I also needed to prime the pump by getting YouTube's attention by publishing more frequently for a little bit of time. YouTube is a weird place. It's a weird place. Son of a Tech, when he first broke back out and he started to make his way towards 100,000 subscribers, there was a point at which he needed to start publishing twice a day in order to get the YouTube algorithm to pay more attention. So it's a weird thing, but you know, it certainly beats whatever. It certainly beats paying for advertising somewhere else. I definitely like what YouTube has to offer. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the long and the short of it. Jerry Brito mentioned on Twitter that it's bad news, but the good news is that we can check at the House, right? The House of Representatives will be taking this bill as it's currently written, and then we can focus there and and make our phone calls, make our voices heard at that point. I'll just summarize here. Jerry talks about it more in depth, and there's a link, of course, in the description of this video, so you can read more about that over there. Before we jump into the rest of the markets, before we jump into the rest of our portfolios, guys, I just wanted to briefly mention that the news on Apple prompted some people to run at the Freedom Phone over on our store. Thank you so much. Really appreciate those of you who have submitted your purchase orders or who've already purchased. We've got exactly one of this model in stock left. So just making that clear, we got only one left. I mentioned that I would update the pricing over there on the site. It is now the only one that we have left in stock, and we're going to be moving from this model to the Pixel 4 XL. So the 6.3 inch screen, much higher pixel density on that screen, more camera lenses, wider camera lens, or a higher megapixel count for the front-facing camera. So the specs are just better overall. We decided to go with that because the specs are better. It has a much better generation processor in it. It's not just that it's faster, but we decided to go with that. So we will not be restocking this model. So the price will go up. This is the last one that we have at this price because it's an older model. So all the accessories that we add to it, right? The case, the privacy shield, privacy screen, the new and improved chargers and cable, that's all included, all pre-installed. So just throwing that out there, guys. So we are sponsoring our event tonight. That's just letting you know we got one left, and I appreciate the sales that have come in. Appreciate the merch sales as well, guys. Thanks so much for making those orders over on mineyourbiz. Jump out of the way here and take a look at our current TX Street numbers right now. This is real time for current gas price on Ethereum, and the mempool count in Bitcoin has gone up significantly as well. Looks like we're over 3,000 transactions, kind of lining up, and the median fee in sats per byte 4.38 on Bitcoin. It's only about 42 cents per transaction in US dollars. So yeah, we're not at the cheapest that we've been in the last little while, but it's not overly expensive either on Bitcoin. Still not a terrible time to mix if you feel like you absolutely have to avoid disaster down the line. In Ethereum land, on the other hand, we've got a median contract fee of over $25, guys, at $26.12. That's awesome. That means anybody coming out of Uniswap, SushiSwap, 1inch, any of the other DEXs and AMMs, and anybody who's voting or actively committing transactions over in a DAO, right? Rapid Fire DAO or Rapid Fire smart contracts. They're driving up the price. It's great. It's absolutely great. Median gas price right now is about 54.5 Gwei. And we're seeing real time that I don't know that it's reaching that much, but the queue shows that a less than 40 Gwei transaction, less than 40 Gwei block is going to be quite a wait for most people. It's already being bid up to over that as you get into the most recent maybe 10 blocks. So this is great, guys. This is great for us, guys and gals. This is what helps us as GPU miners, right? Keep the lights on, keep the rigs running. So this is phenomenal to see for us. On the user experience side, of course, this is terrible, right? Who wants to spend over $25 to create a smart contract? We have a regular viewer on the channel from Brazil who mentioned, or has mentioned in the past, that even the median ETH transfer fee right now represents a significant amount of a full day's wage in some countries. And so sometimes we forget, right here in the United States and here in Canada, right, North America, we forget that these prices are going to affect so many other people very negatively. It's going to price out a lot of participation from other markets. And so we may be looking at a bubble that corrects not because of anything that the ETH core developers are doing, but just because of the participation in other markets, in other countries, bringing the price down, right? Where we have some issues there. So yeah, kind of an interesting thing to see there. We're going to go over our profitability in just a second here as well. I love that Crypto Wendy O had me on her show last week on Friday, and we talked about it then. EIP 1559 is active. I'm going to ask you in the comments right now, live comments, who here that said they were going to change from Ethereum to something else, who here went back already? I'm just going to ask you straight up, who here moved off of Ethereum and then went straight back to Ethereum when they looked at the profitability? It's okay. It's okay if you did. It's okay if you didn't. But let me know what you're mining and let me know if you switched back. Love to hear from you. Seeing some comments coming through. Somebody is saying, Skill Checkmate says Tether has more commercial paper than BlackRock and Vanguard as of today. Oof. Yeah, Tether and USDC both are kind of problematic. USDC less so because of Circle and the way they have it backed right now, even though it's not fully one-to-one backed, also confirmed. But Circle and USDC, I've heard it said by other people, and I totally believe it. I think right now it kind of is the de facto CBDC. It's the way that we can put dollars onto the blockchain and kind of feel okay with it. So, yeah, I mean, Tether it's problematic in some ways, but it's used because it's useful. I've said that in the past too. Just stablecoins in general are only used because they're useful, not because they're like a great cryptocurrency, right? They don't offer privacy natively anyway. They don't necessarily offer low fees based on whichever network they're on, right? We're seeing it right here, right on TX Street. This is your price also to use stablecoins right now, unless it's order book crypto at an exchange. So yeah, I think, yeah, again, stablecoins are only used because they're useful. If we had US dollars on exchanges, then all the exchanges would have to definitely keep those in reserve. That's half the reason that stablecoins came into existence, is so that the counterparty risk is gone. They don't have to have money in the bank. They can just get big deposits from whales who want to provide liquidity, and they can bootstrap largely. There are a lot of smaller exchanges back in the day that did that. And then the decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, that's kind of how they got their start. They said, okay, we don't want to have to hold anything. We just want to create a protocol that other people can use to provide liquidity across all these coins, and then we're good. So, but we needed to have that stable, like, dollar representation. Most people would love a euro representation on the blockchain. Some people have said they want the, Chinese yuan, others, Japanese yen in stable coins. And there just might not be enough demand internationally for that. But again, they're only used because they're useful, not because they're innovative. They're really not that innovative. But, here we are. That's why, regardless of the news that comes out about Tether, whether it's FUD, whether it's fact, whether it's FOMO, whatever, any news that comes out about Tether, I don't think is going to displace Tether from the market. I think it's going to remain because it's so useful. So it'll keep being used. Anyway, I appreciate that comment, though. Thank you for dropping that in there, guys. We are live, so whatever comments you want to bring up about any news item, feel free. We are going to go back through our portfolios, though, so that we kind of get a handle back on what we were tracking since May of this year. But Fiat League, let's take a look to see where all the Bitcoin in the world is going. And while that... Oh, good grief. No. So while we're pulling that, it looks like the highest volume being tracked right now is kind of flipping back and forth between Bitcoin and Ethereum. A lot that was flowing into Ethereum there for a second, but clearly the market's ramped back up a little bit higher. Bitcoin only at about 2.5 times more volume than Ethereum right now in terms of fiat flowing into it. That's a bit of a surprise. Really a bit of a surprise. You'd think by market cap and number of wallets and such, you'd think that Bitcoin would vastly be outperforming Ethereum as far as how much is being bought and sold. Apparently not. And I guess when you consider DeFi as well, all the stable coins and all of the other coins that are running on top of Ethereum, that volume only looks bigger. Okay. So Oh, you know what's funny? Gallo asks a question about, since you were on Wendy's, what are the traders saying about the gas fees post EIP 1559? So, you know, to Wendy's credit, I really appreciate being on her show. When she asks me a question, she asks me as a subject matter expert. So she defers to my opinion on some things and allows me, of course, to explain myself and try to convince her audience so that they know they're getting good feedback on a topic, and they're not just being told like, hey, trust my authority. I'm a miner. You can just believe everything I say. It's like, nah, go look for it yourself, right? Go look at the info yourself, get educated. You know, that's my platform, right? I want to try to help educate. But to Wendy's credit, when she had me on, she didn't have a whole lot of preconceived notions about what EIP 1559 definitely would or definitely wouldn't do. She just knew there was a bit of a narrative about it making ETH more deflationary. And then I showed her apples to apples on TX Street and then on whattomine.com. My mining profits did not even flinch. They didn't move at all, didn't budge, and still haven't. But we'll take a look at that together in just a minute here. So I appreciate you asking. But yeah, Crypto Wendio, if you're watching, if you see this one, shout out. Love going on your show. You're such a professional. Absolutely enjoy spending that time with you, and felt honored to be on your channel. So yeah, guys, I can't speak highly enough about Crypto Wendio. She keeps it real. But here we are, looking at where all the Bitcoin is going. US dollars are killing it. We got Japanese yen just being dumped in at a rate I haven't seen in a while. Thai baht, and apparently also, was it Indonesian rupiah or was it the South African rand? I thought I saw some South African rand flying into there as well. So, but lots of Thai baht, lots of Korean won, and lots of Japanese yen. So clearly, Asian market is just loving it. Some Bitcoin and the rupee. There you go. India's got it. They figured it out. Hong Kong dollar. Yes. Oh, no. No. It was the Tanzanian shilling. Interesting. Okay, so guys, basically the point is everybody's rushing in to buy the top right now. Everybody's rushing in to buy the news. This is crazy. We should know better, right? But we'll take a look at this in just a minute when we actually chart our Bitcoin. Just a second here. In the meantime, let's look up ETH. Where did the ETH go? Where does the ETH go? What does the ETH say? More importantly, how does the ETH feel today? Nobody ever asks ETH how it feels, right? We just ask it how much it costs. Being very insensitive. Anyway, but we do have a price of 31.58, which is awesome. Just awesome. Oh my gosh. Gobs of euro flowing into ETH. USD also in higher denominations every so often, but not as consistently, it looks like, as the euro and the British pound. Dang, Korean won also. I think we're maybe just getting this little map warmed up. And Skill Checkmates is asking, what news are people buying on? So that's a great question. I think primarily the news that people are buying on is price action. There's a lot of retail that's the only thing that matters to them. They almost don't care about the fact that the cryptocurrency provision, or the cryptocurrency, provision within the larger infrastructure bill, they don't care that was negative. They're not really even paying attention to that because they're too new to know that what kind of a threat that could mean in the future. And they're telling themselves, like most people do, like, oh, I haven't done anything wrong and I'm just buying. I mean, it was available for me. I was able to use my credit card. Like, it can't be illegal, right? If they're already past that point of being so skeptical about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin that they're willing to buy it, there's that kind of there's that valley of ignorance in between, the uncanny valley, where they're not quite there yet, right? They're not paying attention to certain news cycles where something like this whole infrastructure bill either dissuades them or persuades them to buy cryptocurrencies. And I know that sounds like I'm taking a dig at the average person. Well, yes, I am. The average person isn't in cryptocurrency because they don't even understand that some of these different pieces of news from all these different news media, whether it is this kind of more esoteric coin news or it's just the markets. Most people don't know where to look for news, and they don't know how to interpret that news when it comes to cryptocurrency. So real talk, guys, the fact that you're even here, you really are kind of a niche within a niche. You're kind of the elite of crypto. I don't talk about things at an extremely low level, that's not, or rather at an extremely rudimentary level, right? Like, there's vocabulary that most people in this audience have to know that the majority of the world will never learn. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, yeah, there's kind of an an issue with gosh, guys, I'm kind of tired. There's kind of an issue with getting these new people up to speed in such a way that they will understand the news that influences us. Most of them are just seeing the price go up, and it's weird. People who had heard of Bitcoin and thought it might be okay, they're like, well, maybe. They're kind of convinced that, right? They didn't think it was a scam or whatever. They thought it was okay, and people who didn't need convincing at $8,000 failed to buy at $8,000, but then they saw the price jump up past 20 and said, okay, well, I'm not really sure yet. And then they bought at 30. It's crazy. It's so weird. But very few people have a bias towards action, and very few people have a bias towards critical thinking, right? And that's what I mean by you guys being the elite. Clearly, you have a bias towards both. You're here, you're interested, you're engaged, you're kind of like proselytizing to your friends, like, hey, no, crypto's pretty good. People who, there's somebody in your circle of friends whose only exposure to cryptocurrency has been you, basically, is what I'm saying. I think that describes a lot of our audience here and a lot of us in this audience. So yeah, kind of weird. But yeah, that's the news that I think people are buying. It really largely just price, because for them, it validates what they had presumed about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency from before, where they were like, oh yeah, it looks like it's probably going to do pretty well. And there are people who've been telling themselves that since Bitcoin was in the hundreds of dollars to buy. So yeah. I mean, I saw Bitcoin way back when it was 300. That makes sense. And then it goes past 3,000. They're like, oh yeah. See, I knew it would do okay. It's like, do you have a position in it? Do you have a direct exposure to it? Like, what good is being right doing you right now? Like, wouldn't you rather kind of win and actually have more value in your portfolio, more money in your pocket? Like, wouldn't you rather have that be the outcome from you being right? Like, get off zero. A lot of people are like that too. So, and you got everybody else in between who's just like, for whatever reason, they haven't put their money where their mouth is and just picked some up. And it's weird how many of those people, they see it do a 10x jump and then they feel okay buying, even though they've known about it for a while. I mean, for crying out loud, that described me. I knew about Bitcoin when it was in the hundreds, and I didn't actually buy till it was in thousands. Thankfully not in the tens of thousands, but yeah, like still, I know that it describes a lot of people I know as well. Anyway, the ETH is going all over the world, but especially, looks like we've got some ruble and some Brazilian real, but tons going into euro, tons going into USD, tons going into British pound. Take a look at what to mine and stop rambling so much. Yeah, sound good, guys? Okay, what to mine? Go with our R9 380. R9 380. Take a look at the profitability. It looks like on the R9, this older card, Ergo, is killing it. 75 cents per day on this really, really old card. That's amazing. And then Ravencoin coming in at a relatively distant second at almost a full quarter, right? A full 2 bits down below the profitability for Ergo. And then Ethereum Classic right there at about 50 cents as well. Even Quark Chain making it onto the list at some profit. And then Zano closer to break even, others as well. That's amazing for that R9 380. Take a look at the R9 Fury. I'm like excited about what I'm going to see here for the R9 Fury. HBM card, right? So high bandwidth memory, and it's doing 214 on Ravencoin. What universe is this? Good grief. The R9 Fury is doing over $2 a day. Like, these are cards that some people had to save from landfills. These are cards that gamers were like, yeah, I've got one, but I don't really like it anymore. I mean, these are cards that nobody's using for anything except now for mining, earning $2 a day, $2.14 a day on Ravencoin with the R9 Fury. That's unbelievable. Ergo is over $1. That's unbelievable too on this card. And then Zano is almost $1. Like, what universe are we in right now? That's crazy. That's the R9 Fury. Take a look at our 4 gig Polaris cards with the 570 here and move the ETH hash 4G number all the way up to 30.5. Calculate. And again, I'm almost worried about what I'm going to see. Ravencoin at almost $2 on 4 gig cards. Ergo at $1.56. So not a bad choice there. However, I will say I've got a bit of an issue when I started to hear everybody kind of talk about how Ergo was becoming more profitable to mine. Look at our daily volume. This does not track for me. If I had our 5 BTC filter on, well, for a couple of days, we would have seen that Ergo would make the list, but it would already now be back off the list for being under 5 Bitcoin worth of daily trading volume. Am I saying that Ergo is a bad coin? No, I don't think it's a bad coin at all. I still have my concerns and my doubts because of the lack of delivery on promised milestones for Cardano, right? ADA is kind of the problem. Or for me, Ergo, not so much. But the fact that it's really riding entirely on the success of Cardano really delivering, that's a bit of a concern for me. So yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw it go over 5 Bitcoin of daily trading volume, but then I kind of wasn't shocked when I saw it go back down. I think it was back at a low of almost 3 Bitcoin of daily volume last time I checked in. To see it kind of crawling back up, not bad. Maybe there's some people out there with these older cards, and maybe this is enough to convince them to jump onto this algorithm and this coin. Go to the 8 gig Polaris cards without getting too hung up on that last little bit there. 8 gig Polaris cards back into Ethereum land, and we're at $2.09 per day. Raven coin at 182, so looking like a good alternative there if you've got that card. Not bad. Ergo in third place at 167, and Ethereum Classic at 116, so not doing awesome. Almost everything else will be worth that exchange rate if you have to send it over to exchange, just based on percentages. It'd be worth hanging on to the more profitable coin, it looks like, if you're liquidating on regular intervals. But Ethereum at 209, guys, last time I checked in, and when I did the show with Crypto Wendio last week, profits for this 8 gig Polaris card were 204. And again, we're looking at 14 cent per kilowatt hour power here. So if you're not familiar with mining, 14 cent per kilowatt hour is the average for the entire United States. It's not a great rate. It's really not the best rate for power, but almost anybody who's watching can take a look at this number that we're showing right here, and with pretty good confidence, know that you'll earn about this much, roughly, with the cards that we're looking at 14 cent power. But we were at 204 a week ago, right as EIP 1559 launched. We're higher now. We're higher post EIP 1559 than we were before it, in part because the coin price went up. That does play a big role in profitability, but it's not everything, right? And it's certainly not with Ethereum now with EIP 1559. For people who thought that EIP 1559 was going to decrease fees, well, it didn't. It did allow for a tipping service that built in as a primitive so that people can tip to get their transactions pushed through. But that's very similar to minor extractable value or maximum extractable value. We found that there were several blocks that for every 2 Ethereum that were being burned, almost 7 were being minted because of MEV and the new tip system, because people want their transactions to go through. So no, ETH is not deflationary, and it might not ever be deflationary for as long as there's proof of work. So there's kind of an issue with people characterizing or mischaracterizing Ethereum and EIP 1559 as deflationary and ultrasound money. No, it's still fundamentally a system that will have infinite emission. So every time a block resolves, right, every time a block is made on the Ethereum blockchain, more ether are made. At least a little bit more ether are made, and they're made in order to pay whoever is securing and validating the network. They have to be. That's the way that the gas fee system works, unless they fundamentally change it. But there will always be some kind of a newly minted Ethereum to pay for whoever is securing the network, even if it's a tiny little bit. We got some comments coming in. We got Sinister saying proof of stake will be here in December. I highly doubt that. I don't think it's going to be in December, but you're welcome to think that. And worse, as users of Ethereum, I think we've got a little bit of an issue as far as these gas fees. Like, this is what we're getting paid as miners. These fees don't go away when Ethereum goes to proof of stake. In fact, the current EIP 1559 will be rolled into the Beacon Chain merge. So, this is just going to go to stakers instead. It's that simple. And who are the largest stakeholders? Right, the Ethereum core developers who were originally paid out as part of the initial airdrop or the initial pre-mine, and well, at this point, the exchanges and other whales who've been holding on since the ICO. So they've got bags of thousands of Ethereum. So those people are going to get paid for being very, very patient. But, You know, I did that video on Zcash that kind of lays out why that's a problem. I'm not going to rehash that here, but yeah, Ethereum 2.0 doesn't get rid of these fees. What you see here on TX Street, we're going to see a lot of the same, really a lot more of the same when it moves to proof of stake. It's just they're going to pay a different group of people. That's all. And that group of people is largely going to be represented by the original devs and the original ICO. Everybody else is going to get a giant middle finger because we helped to secure the network up to a certain point and grow the value of the coins that they hold in the first place. But I mean, whatever. I'm not, life isn't fair. That's fine. But my point is that this isn't just like garden variety life. We can vote with our feet, right? We can go other places. We can create other coins. We can even jump onto other networks or even fork them if we wanted to. But yeah, we don't have to sit passively. Oh, guys, are you seeing a lot of lag in my live stream? I'm curious. Are you guys seeing lag in my live stream? Because I'm getting a little notification from YouTube that somehow I'm not pushing enough bits. Idiots. Chill. I'm live on the live stream. All right. So yeah, got little guys also eager to be on the TV. I think we're a little bit of an issue there. All right. I think this is probably a little better. Yeah, guys. Looking at it right now. Okay. Anyway, definitely. Oh man. Definitely appreciate you giving me that feedback on it. Let me see if I can do some adjustments right now, though. I think I'm pushing enough, but stops dead for a few seconds at a time? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can send anything more. I don't think I can actually push any more. Let's see what we got. Wow. Yeah, no, it's definitely proving to me that I am getting a really poor stream health. Just gonna, yeah, I'll just keep it really simple, guys. Yeah, I won't do full screen video. I'll keep it at that for right now. But at any rate, guys, what to mine? Those are numbers for the 8 gig Polaris card, 209 every single day. That's just amazing. Entry level or bottom of the line Vega card, Vega 56 with HBM2 memory. If you're not familiar with that one, okay, it looks like, yeah, I'm seeing an excellent connection on my end too, guys. Sorry about the lag there. Sometimes you need to troubleshoot. Looks like Ergo really is top of the list for these HBM2 cards. That's pretty awesome. Because Ergo is at 481. Again, it has me concerned because we got such relatively low volume. If we were at a 5 Bitcoin volume filter, we wouldn't even see it here. But with Ravencoin being only 330, right? And then Ethereum being second place at 346, it's difficult not to go for Ergo, right? You got such high profit there, almost 25% more every single day, or roughly 25% more every single 24-hour period. That would be really difficult not to do. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to take a closer look at that over in our portfolio later on. So I'm going to see what our options are there as far as quickly moving that around. Top of the line HBM2 card, Radeon 7. Going to go ahead and just put one of those in the filter and keep it at 14-cent power. And we've got Ergo 742, Ethereum at 697. That's a tough one for me. Again, just looking at the relative amount of volume going through and the fact that we're seeing a pump with Ethereum as well, right? Ergo's doing awesome, but Ethereum is not doing bad, right? We're at over $3,100. Not a bad coin to be working with. And in fact, I'm really glad that I held on to the Ethereum that I was mining instead of trying to auto convert it or trying to dump it or whatever, especially since we had our portfolio adjusted from May 26th. I'm really glad about all of the Ethereum that I've mined and held. Been a good choice for me. Anyway, not right for everybody, but I really feel like it was the right choice for me. So yeah, seeing that be so close, yeah, I don't know how much longer those high profits are going to last with Ergo, but we'll see, right? No way to know for sure, but that definitely the volume did dip, right? It was over 8 Bitcoin for every single day for a little bit of time, and now it's been below 4 Bitcoin every single day. So I'm a little bit concerned by that. Maybe some people are viewing it as a good mine and hold though, so if that describes you, then great. I'm not so confident in its future. Ravencoin is at 475 on that same card, so it's huge jump down. In the Ethereum Classic at 418. All right, going with our composite of the 5600 XT and the 6800 XT. Remember, again, 60% of our hash rate and profit is going to go to that 6000 series card. So we're going to do a composite here for that line. And it is Ravencoin at the top of the list, 821, with Ethereum in second place at below $8, 772. Ergo also on the list, but way behind at 567 or 76. So yeah, that was unexpected as well. I didn't think we'd see Ravencoin so much higher than Ethereum right now. But again, we're seeing relatively high pumpamentals on a lot of coins. But with these two, at least with Ravencoin, with almost 300 daily Bitcoin in volume, or in daily volume at almost 300 Bitcoin, that's huge. That's really huge. You can trade that, you can sell that, you can, at least for the small to mid-scale miner, you can do that without moving markets. And some of these other coins, if too many of us are mining, we will move markets by trying to sell daily if we need to, or if we want to try to lock in profits. So we strangle the golden goose when we do that. Got a bit of an issue though. That's why I had that 5 Bitcoin filter on before, guys. I might put it back on in the near future. We'll see. That's Team Green, though, in a nutshell, going with the 1060, the 1660, the 2060, and then the 3060 Ti, with about 50% of the hash rate and profit going to the 3000 series card. That's the way we're doing this. That's why we go with the Ti instead of the baseline 3060. It's because we want it to be kind of show how the generational jump has really favored the newer cards. But we've got Ravencoin at the top of this list as well at over $10 per day. Crazy. Ethereum at under $10 per day at 960, and then Ergo in a not too distant third at 887, and Firo in a not too distant fourth after that at 733. But it is over $1 below Ergo. Though I will say that between those two, like historically, Firo was a pretty obvious mine and hold, and Ergo being a newcomer, tough to know for sure how this is going to pan out for it. Eternity's also on the list: Conflux, Zano, Ethereum Classic, Beam, Quark Chain, Bitcoin Gold. We've got several options as far as these cards being in the money. And if you're interested in mining and holding, maybe one of those is a bit of a passion project for you, passion crypto project for you, that you're okay with just mining because you support it. 1080 Ti, 2080 Ti, 1660S, and the 3090. This is also going to be about 50% of the resulting hash rate and profit going to the 3000 series part. And Ravencoin tops this list as well at over $17. Ethereum being just under $17, but the delta there is 64 cents. Crazy. And I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. But Ravencoin is just slaying it right now as far as profitability. Ethereum, of course, in my mind, still a great project to support. I mean, without making it an Ethereum versus Ravencoin thing, maybe I can do a dedicated video on that. Let me know down in the comments section. Let me know by writing your suggestion for whether or not I should do Ravencoin versus Ethereum, Ethereum versus Ergo, Ergo versus Firo, Firo versus Ethereum, etc. Let me know if you want me to do the little like pairing off versus series over the next couple of days. That might be fun. But punctuate it by hitting that thumbs up. Thanks. All right, so we've got a bunch of options here, but really Ethereum and Ravencoin look to be at the very top of the list. Ergo coming in at below $15 and Firo below $13. And then all the others as before. For Team Green, we've got such a close architecture in terms of what mines well that it's going to look similar between the value and efficiency lineup and then the top performance lineup that's higher, maybe not quite as efficient as far as the hash per watt. But you're going to see similar performance profiles across, say, Cuckoo Cycle and ProgPow and other hashing algorithms that are known to be really performant on NVIDIA. So, yeah, interesting. Similar proportion of rewards to the different projects as well. But really, Ravencoin and Ethereum top of the list. Ergo coming in at a third that you might be interested in, but with far lower daily trading volume and a bit lower profit here as well. All right. That is our GPU profitability lineup. Let me check our comments section real fast, guys. Thanks for confirming that the live stream is back in decent health. Kind of strange there. We had a couple of comments come in with somebody asking a question about some exchange problems. They retracted their messages. I think what we're probably going to be doing is just preventing those from showing up again. Sorry to do that live moderation there, guys. But yeah, I want to make sure that the stream is a fun place for everybody to chat. If you have people that are coming in kind of quasi looking like scammers, weird. All right. We got Chad asking a question. Talk about strategies to acquire new or used cards, used or new GPUs. ROI 7 months. Have a 3070 mining ETH. Need more cards? Hey, that's a great idea. Yeah, so that's what we intended to have the email newsletter set up for, so that when we did have anything like that, it kind of represents some alpha. We just want to keep a little bit more private instead of broadcasting it on YouTube, that we would send out any notifications that we had, not like a price bot or whatever. You can use those. But the idea was like strategies where we just talk about those more privately. The email list is totally free. All right, it doesn't cost anything. You can sign up at mineyourbiz. But that's great. And I will take note of this and see if we can do some adjunct videos on it as well. Maybe just like, some like bird's eye view strategies of how to look more thoroughly for hardware that makes more sense for you. It's just less getting less gouged. Yeah, great though. Love the feedback. Thank you. All right, guys. So that's our profitability on GPUs. Let's take a look at cost to mine one full Bitcoin. We're going to start with our baseline configuration, just one Antminer S9. Antminer S9, we again, to keep apples to apples, we're going to start it on 14 cent per kilowatt hour power, and we're at 33.9 for one full Bitcoin. And the break-even price right now is at 18.7. So it's still profitable to mine on an Antminer S9. We're experiencing the same lift in Bitcoin mining as we saw in the GPU mining, right? With the price of Bitcoin going up and the relative difficulty and the relative hash rate of Bitcoin staying the same, well, the rewards for Bitcoin mining are going up. And so you can bear to mine at a profit with even higher power. So still on that S9, I'm still a lot more comfortable sourcing 8 cent power. Acquiring one full Bitcoin at about 19.4 makes a lot more sense to me, and you've heard me say it in the past. I'm not one of those that's saying that the sky is falling, that we'll definitely see $20,000 Bitcoin before the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe we will, right? Never say never. But I'm not out here calling for it like it definitely has to happen. We got Nemesis in the comment section saying, yo, good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. But yeah, I'm not one of those who's saying like, we're definitely going to see $20,000 Bitcoin. It's going to get far worse before it gets better. That's not me. Couldn't be me. But I do like to acquire nice things at low cost, right? And so getting one full Bitcoin at 19.4 makes a lot more sense to me. And you've heard me say it in the past, but I strongly believe that you, yes, you in the audience, can find 8 cent per kilowatt hour power in your market. I know it's possible. I know you can do it. Here's the thing. It's going to take work, and you're going to need to be kind of selfish about it, right? You're going to need to go ask questions that might make some people feel uncomfortable, and you're going to need to keep some info to yourself that might make other people in your market upset because it represents a competitive advantage for you. So if you're in a state where it seems like the cost of power is really, really high, you might need to cross the train tracks and go to the next city, right? So that's kind of one of your cheats there, right? It's a cheat code. And then you have to form relationships. It's kind of that simple. But yeah, guys, that's why I say that. You can find 8 cent power in your market. I know you can. If you're able to co-locate at 5 cent power, it starts to make more sense, right? Looking at, just over $12,000, up from what it was before, but still just over $12,000 to mine one full Bitcoin on an Antminer S9 if you're on 5 cent power and you got a bunch of them, right? You're not going to do that every single day, but by the time you mine one full Bitcoin at this rate, if it holds, then you're only doing so at $12,000. Pretty awesome. Let's take a look at our alternate model, the MicroBT WhatsMiner M20S. And this one at 5 cent power, it's just ridiculous, right? Nearly half the cost to mine one full Bitcoin. 8 cent power, if you can find that in your market, which I know you can. And now you're at below the cost to mine one full Bitcoin on the Antminer S9, even if it is on 5 cent power. Pretty crazy, right? And just go up one more level to 14 cent power, and now you're mining one full Bitcoin at 19.5, which, as you recall, on the Antminer S9 is how much you'd be able to mine it for if you were on 8 cent power. So almost half the power cost to get that same price. You have to really, really economize on the Antminer S9 to get that same cost for one full Bitcoin. This is why efficiency is so important, guys and gals. If you don't have efficient hardware, then you'll be overpaying for the cost of the cryptocurrency that you mine. So yeah, low and cheap power, big deal. It's your friend for sure in mining. So look for that, especially if you're mining Bitcoin where you have to work with ASICs. That's our cost to mine one full Bitcoin and our profitability for all of the GPUs. Taking a look at miningpoolstats.com. This is just a tool that you should be aware of. If you're not using this tool, then you might not be exploring what all the best pools are for the coins that you mine. It's just another tool for you to use. That's why I included in this live stream and in the comments or the description of this video so that anybody who's watching knows how to find this and can then sift through this and find the relevant information for yourself. But we got Bitcoin at approximately, well, not quite the same hash rate as it was last week. Actually down a little bit. We were closer to 118 exahash before, down just a little bit. And the pool hash rate is lower than that. So a significant portion of that is coming from solo mining or from smaller pools that are independently run. Ethereum hash rate is largely unchanged, guys. And I just don't see a whole lot of changes happening in the near future. Filtering just for the ETH algorithm, still the second place is Zilliqa because it is merge mined. Work chain coming in at a distant third. So such a distant third. Callisto coming in far lower than that. MOAC, these two between Callisto and MOAC might actually be pretty close to showing their genuine numbers here. I don't think they're merge mined with anyone, so you've actually got only about 23 gigahash securing MOAC right now. And again, let's be very, very real here. That hash rate, we know people between all of the crypto YouTubers, we know enough people that could basically double the hash rate real time on MOAC, and yeah, different networks like it that are a bit smaller. Anyway, we got a new comment coming in from Anthony M saying, that Anthony is very upset about Senator Richard Shelby for voting against crypto because he didn't get the bribe he was probably hoping for. Yeah, that may well be the case. Seems like also he felt very strongly about some defense spending, and actually the bill that he was working on, I think, was a higher dollar amount than the proposed tax revenue that would come in from the crypto provision, where the crypto provision is supposed to bring in like $28 billion or something, or $30 billion. And nobody knows how they got to this number, right? Where it's like, how did you figure those crypto taxes? Well, I don't know. We just kind of do, it makes sense, right? Look at what Coinbase is doing in transaction fee. Look over at Uniswap. Surely we were going to be able to get this number of crypto taxes. We'll get that number next year, right? 30 billion. It's going to be great. Nobody knows how they came up with that figure, but it wound its way into the bill, right? Into the provision. So I think that, yeah, Senator Richard Shelby getting really upset about that provision. I think it was more a question of him not getting his little bill that I think was supposed to bring in like 50 or maybe it was over 100 billion that was supposed to be for military and defense spending, and he just kind of threw a fit. That's what I'm reading in the news cycle right now. But yeah, guys. We got Handyman saying, "Sup, B?" Crypto Youth saying they won't get anything if it passes like it is. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, because almost everybody involved in cryptocurrency in the United States will either move their digital fingerprint overseas or physically move and expatriate. A lot of people who are very upset. So we'll see. I doubt it's going to go through exactly as is. I think we've still got an opportunity for a revision or a full rewrite. So we've got to pursue that all the way. But yeah, guys, it really does look like outside of Ethereum, the majority of these, they just don't even come close to being able to carry all the hash rate that's being pushed into Ethereum right now. So MOAC would just break. It would just be shredded. The profitability wouldn't be there for us. Callisto Network, same. And of the few that maybe would make sense, I think it'd pretty much just be, it would pretty much just be ETH Classic, I guess, as far as being able to carry more hash rate. But even still, it's not quite that close. Just not even nearly enough. We're seeing Ravencoin do some carrying of the hash rate, but I just don't think it's quite there either. Let's see. Aras is saying, Litecoin mining has been great so far. Since I have to pay my electric next year, I'm trying to save up for a GPU rig. Cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, excited for you. It'll be fun. All right, let's take a look at our portfolios really briefly, guys. GPU mining portfolio. Ravencoin shot way up in our ranking here. First off, our 24-hour change, we're up almost 5%, but our total P&L for this portfolio, we're still down 9.5%. So we're not all the way back up to where we were when we started the portfolio, right? Yeah, when we started the portfolio, if you don't remember, we put 1,000 paper dollars, right, in a paper, a little not paper trading account, but a paper portfolio here. We put $1,000 into each one of these coins on May 26th. And that was still, the price action was dipping and then finding bottom support for this most recent move after Bitcoin was over 50,000. And now we see roughly where things are panning out as the price goes back up. But it looks like Ravencoin has outperformed everything in the last 7 days, I think. Nope, not true. Ergo. And I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So now we're going to take a look at, we'll order it this way. Last 7 days, our biggest winners have been Ergo, then Ravencoin, Conflux, Haven coming way up. I told you it would, guys. Look, over $5.40. I was talking to you about it when it was below $3. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to see that kind of growth almost anywhere else in this portfolio because it has so much ground to recover. It's still actually the anchor, the lowest performing asset in this portfolio. So it really had nowhere to go but up in my mind. But just taking a look at the market cap, or we'll look at our P&L and our holdings in just a second. We'll reorder this to figure out which is our top performer. But it's crazy to see that the ones that are recovering fastest don't necessarily make sense, right? Conflux, I don't really get it. Haven, I do get because it was undervalued in my opinion. But Ergo and Ravencoin, they're popping back up because of a renewed interest, in part from us, right? The miners. Also, guys, while we're here at this point in the video, I just want to thank you so much for giving it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for sharing this video, especially now while it's live, so that we have more people to chat with in the live comments. Really, this is a big highlight for me. My wife has commented on how, like, hey, I like I like the guy I'm married to when he spends a little bit of time with the community, chatting in real time about these markets, giving to other people, and having a fun time with his peers. So really, you guys are saving marriages. Thank you for hitting that share button. Thank you for hitting that like button. All right. Back into the profitability though, let's reorder this by way of profit and loss. And this is what we've been looking at right the whole time, mostly, is to see which performed the best since we've created a portfolio. Ravencoin being in number one kind of corresponds to its 7-day move. But we've got more ground to make up with some of those other coins like Firo and Zono and and Ergo too. Where did Ergo go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's just below our representations of Bitcoin, but it had a lot of ground to make up. It was really low, really low before. And yeah, Ravencoin just surpassed Ethereum in our portfolio. If you'd put $1,000 into both of them way back on May 26th, the way we did here, Ravencoin did better. But we didn't see that coming right away, right? Huge growth in the last 7 days, and especially in the last day, right? Last 24 hours. Ergo as well. Big jump upward. Biggest loser, though, still is Haven, right? It's still at the bottom of the list here, right? Even though in the 7-day, you notice how I reordered it? In the 7-day, it's recovering very, very strong, especially compared to some of the others that are still in the red. A lot of the others that are still in the red, they haven't performed nearly as strongly over the last week, other than like Conflux here. That's kind of an outlier. So my prediction here, guys, without offering any advice, is that Haven is still going to recover a bit. I think it's still a tiny bit undervalued. As far as it getting all the way back to its previous all-time high, I think it's going to take some time. This is just me looking at sort of a meta-analysis of the news that the team has released and the fact that they needed to find new developer talent to assist with their team. I think it's going to take some time for this coin to fully recover, but maybe there's still some growth ahead of it in its current recovery. I'm not convinced that it's going to like shoot straight up to $25 again or to $30 again. I don't know if they get that this particular bull run. It could be that they're nearing their point of returning to its new all-time high, printing a new all-time high post exploit. I think they may almost be there now. But again, not advice. It's also possible that we're seeing this tiny little dip right over the last 24 hours. That's all that's affecting it, and we're trying to find the current support line again. And we'll look at that when we hit the Bitcoin chart in a minute, guys. But exciting to see, guys. Ravencoin, Raven coin holders rejoice, right? We're back at 11 cents. And let's take a look to see what its Satoshi value is right now. How's it holding up against its Bitcoin value from before? So looks like it's pretty linear, but current Satoshi value 256 to 254. You still would have been better off selling all of your Raven coin, in my opinion, when it was back over 1,500 Satoshis or over 1,400 Satoshis. I don't think we're ever going to see that again either. So, well, but here we are. The coin is not totally gone, and it's still, marching onward and upward. Raven coin, highest performer. Kudos to the Raven coin team. Jeremy, if you're watching, yes, you're awesome. You contribute to more than one of these projects. Hard drive mining, we're up almost 4.25% for the last 24 hours. Total portfolio still in the negative, in the red, by 6%. Way better than before. That means that we're almost fully recovered with all of our coins. But the thing that is really holding us up, propping us up still, is MadeSafe coin. It's up 72% since we created this portfolio, and our biggest loser is still Chia. That's still almost 70% down. And unfortunately, even with the rest of the market running up bullishly, Chia has yet to recover its $300 support level. It's just not there yet. It barely broke 200 last week that we were actively live streaming. And so to see it kind of like relative to the rest of the market not doing quite so well, a bit of a bummer. But in this portfolio, it's also far from the lowest performer. Let's take a look at what our top 7-day performers are. And really, it's only number 2 in that regard. Filecoin is number 1 in terms of 7-day recovery, though. MadeSafe coin actually dead last when it comes to weekly price movement, but since we created a portfolio, it's still been our hero. So can't think that I just don't think that we can blame it for much over the last 7 days. But it has been kind of boring, right? As the one that's kind of popped up to the top of the list and stayed there for weeks. However, that's it was a better choice, obviously, than any other coin that we threw into the portfolio. But that's our hard drive portfolio in a nutshell. CPU mineable coins. Top of the list, still Raptorium, and it's up significantly since we started the portfolio. 24-hour change, almost 7% at 5.7, and then, or almost 6% rather, and then the total P&L is negative 17.41. The anchor in this one as well is Varus, right? It's been staying below negative 20 or negative 50 for some time, but the chart looks like it's less manipulated, just in my opinion, right? Not totally sure. RS is asking, do you also review proof of stake coins? I haven't yet, but I'm open to us creating a portfolio, side of the portfolio that is for proof of stake. You guys let me know. I'll probably need to create some kind of a Google spreadsheet or something, Google Forms, or some kind of form where we can just do a vote on that. Or I'll put a vote into the community tab of YouTube. You guys let me know what you'd like more. But either way, let's try to figure out what proof of stake coins we want to put in there. And then, we'll build a portfolio together, and we'll jump back in time to May 26th, like all of these coins, the way we have for all of these coins, so we can see how they performed over time. So that could be fun. Definitely would like to do that. We'll add proof of stake coins soon. We're still intensely focused on proof of work on this channel, guys. It's called Mind Your Biz for a reason. The Mind Your Biz, like it's part privacy, right? Mind your own business, but also mining your Bitcoin, right? My Bitcoin. There's something very special about being able to take commodity hardware, just something that you have lying on the shelf, and then make it create new coins or contribute to cryptocurrency in such a way that you get new coins like we're seeing right here. There's something very unique about that. Getting the Coinbase transaction or getting the very first coins that come out of a network to create its block subsidy, right? Its block reward, or block subsidy, the way that Satoshi called it. There's something really unique about that. You're as close to the source as you can ever get. You know that you didn't buy it from somebody who was a criminal, right? So you didn't give them money. You didn't fund crime by buying from a criminal. You got it directly from the coin network itself. And as far as giving long-term security, there's still no other means of consensus in blockchain that has lasted as long as proof of work. Like the Bitcoin proof of work network is very unlikely to ever move to proof of stake because it works. That said, am I open to proof of stake working on more recent coins? Well, yeah, I see examples of that. So it'd be nice to track those as well. We'll create that portfolio soon. I'll submit something of a form or something. Probably do a form on the website. So now that I'm thinking about it, guys, that really would be better than me creating just a poll here on the community tab of YouTube. I'll do something that's kind of a hybrid, but it'd be better for us to just have a poll or a form on the website. So I will do that though. We'll know what to start with. All right, Varus coin very, very low there. Wow, Nero still has great growth, right? 27 cents. It's been doing great the last 7 days. In fact, that's our number 2 for 7 day. Raptorium down over the 7 day, but over the last 24 hours, really big pump, right? Really exciting. But again, that chart, those formations really do look very inflated. It could be that there are some well-meaning whales who are just pumping, right? Pumping on different, or wash trading on different exchanges. But that's just crazy right there. Some of those swings might be nice to look at for some kind of technical analysis there, or figure out some kind of trading strategy for that. But pretty awesome. P&L, it's our top performer. It's the one that's well above what we put in. So congrats, Raptorium team. Kudos. You guys are just doing great work. Can't wait to do some CPU mining tutorials in the near future as well. We may start with that, or may just like work down this list. That's our CPU mining portfolio in a nutshell. ASIC mining, let's take a look at our top coin, Bitcoin. Yep, it's killing it. Finally back up over what we put in way back in May 26th. So we're at 1175 there. Total 24-hour change for this portfolio is 7.78%. This looks to be our top performer, I think. But total P&L was still down 12% across the entire bag, right? The entire basket of coins here. Top performer, though, is Bitcoin, doing great, as you know, at over $46,000 currently. Pirate Chain is in number 3 still, at over the last 7 days, getting some really great growth. And coin price, each individually, nearing $4. That's crazy. I just didn't think I'd see that so soon. Really, I thought it would take longer for Pirate Chain to really take off. That's awesome. And then bottom of the list is Horizon, still even below Bytecoin and even below Dogecoin. So Horizon, sorry team, hopefully you're experiencing more recovery soon, but they're down by 33%. Let's see our top 7 day winners. Looks like Dogecoin is making a recovery. It is, which, whatever. You got to give it its due. The community is really strong. The meme is pretty fun. Shiba Inu dogs are supposed to be really cute. Whatever. I'll give them that. Cool to see they're doing well. And of course, we accept Dogecoin over on the mineyourbiz merch and hardware store. So we believe in it at least enough to take it from people who want to spend it. So there's that. Pirate Chain, number 2 again. So it is showing that strong performance. And wow, Bitcoin and Litecoin trailing them significantly. But that's just awesome. Awesome to see all those ASIC mineable coins improving in their price. Zcash is also hit there on the leaderboard. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I'm not very happy with their move to proof of stake. And I've been actively been very vocal about it. I just don't think Zcash is genuinely a privacy project. I don't think it ever has been. Not really. Not since they basically actively discouraged users from using shielded transactions by not making them the default. But that's just me. Moving from ASIC portfolio over to our FPGA portfolio, and total 24-hour change almost 6% up, and total P&L since we started it almost 34% down. Digibyte is now in the top spot. It displaced Nimiq. So is Cadena in the number 2 spot. They just jumped right past it. Nimiq is down in the number 3 slot now, but none of them are even close to recovering their initial $1,000 price. Right? The FPGA coins, they've really not performed very well at all. And dead last is Handshake. One thing about FPGA mining, though, is that FPGA mining, I'm getting a great question from Aras in the comment section. FPGAs, it's a different hardware profile. So imagine instead of a GPU or instead of an ASIC, you have something that's kind of somewhere in between, right? It's higher performance than a GPU for certain coins, but it's not quite as high performance as an ASIC. And Anonymous Miner just wrote out the acronym there. It's called Field Programmable Gate Array. So it's a special kind of hardware profile that's somewhere in between performance of a GPU and an ASIC. But it's also somewhere in between the difficulty level, but more difficult than both in a way. The difficulty of FPGAs is that you have to have a custom bit stream for them. So custom software, essentially, or firmware, really kind of middleware, that tells the FPGA what it can do, right? It sort of defines for the FPGA what kind of pathways and what kind of algorithms it can perform, and to what extent, how much power it can consume, and what even the power draw characteristics of what it can do. They're very, very tricky. So yeah, so there's that first hurdle. You can't do that on your own. Generally speaking, you'd have to know Verilog, a custom programming language that's just for writing software, these firmware intermediaries for FPGAs. So it's a bit more involved. There are some companies, however, that have productized them and put them into small containers, a bit like an ASIC. So the F1 miner, right, or the black miner F1. There you go. It's an example of this. This is becoming the new style of FPGAs that people are mining with. However, when you want really top performance, you got to go old school. You got to get the type that you have to plug in on your own, use this bitstream to create, and then also find a miner that supports it. So, great question. Got another question coming in from Brad saying, will that phone you created be available for purchase anytime soon? Well, Brad, I appreciate you asking. Guys, I'm going to jump back really quick. I'm going to shamelessly plug this. It's already available. In fact, there's a link to it in the description of this video, but this is the previous model we have pictured here. And the one that's being pictured here is, it is being retired after we sell our last bit of inventory. We're going to move from the previous 3A model now to the 4XL. Here's the difference. This is the one that we currently have in stock right now. And it has a 5.7 or a 5.8 inch screen measured diagonally. The 4XL is going to, it ships with a 6.3 inch screen, so it's bigger, with greater pixel density and actually a much better camera on both sides. So it's kind of better in every way that people care about, right? Nicer screen, faster processor, better camera, and actually longer battery life. Plus, it is dust and water resistant too. It's not waterproof, but it's dust and water resistant. So we wanted to make it a little more robust, and this is better overall, we think. So anyway, thanks for asking. Give me a plausible reason to shill. We've only got one of these left though in stock, so we're going to be selling that and then restocking on others. We accept cryptocurrencies natively. We offer technically a discount for anybody who's paying natively in Bitcoin or Monero, I believe. So yeah. Thank you for asking. Got some other questions and comments coming through. Nemesis is saying, stay away from SQRL FPGAs as they've been lying to their customers for over a year now and have taken funds with no product or refund. Ooh, public service announcement. Yeah, guys, I feel kind of bad about that. I've interviewed the SQRL team publicly, and I'm sure that helped facilitate some kind of weird stuff that's gone on since then. My interactions with them have been nothing but positive, but I am hearing some negative stories come out, and got to take that seriously, man. When people aren't getting their product or they aren't getting refunds, you really look somewhere else. There's somebody else that could use your money, All right. So Anonymous Miner is asking, what's the price difference between the two phones? Well, this one, we've repriced at $309. The 4XL will be priced at basically $450. So yeah, it's a difference of a significant amount, but it's a far better, it's a far more premium phone. That's the reason we've gone that way. If we do get, like, if you guys are saying you want us to keep the lower power option, that's a more budget friendly option, we can maybe keep some of those in stock too, but I think we'd have to do some pre-orders there. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But the whole point of me doing this and bringing this back up is because the Freedom Phone that was talked about by other companies, I'm a bit concerned about. It's just not. I mean, it's nowhere near the quality. Even of this older model that we still sell, even of this less performance model, it's not even close. I mean, the processor alone on those two models, the one that Eric Finman sells and the one that we sell, it's night and day. The camera quality it's again, night and day. This doesn't have an SD card slot, but it also uses higher quality core memory, like base memory for your storage. So it also doesn't wear out. There's any number of small differences, and I could create a checklist to show you any number of small differences in trim that just, like, line for line, every single thing that the Pixel phone has in it outperforms what this company and what this guy Eric Finman tried to peddle with the cheap Chinese junk that he was selling with his Freedom Phone. It's just kind of embarrassing. Like, it's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing that he let that happen, and that so many politicians signed on like, oh, sweet, I'm going to get referral kickbacks. It's like, come on, man. You got to give people something that's A, quality, and B, if you say it's secure, prove it, right? Like, what makes that phone so secure? It's actually not. Yeah, it's got several problems. Anyway, thank you for asking again. But guys, going through our portfolio, our FPGA, we went through on a little bit of a tangent there. FPGA mineable coins, they're really not doing our best. So, but because FPGAs are so performant, it's pretty common for people to be able to acquire the coins at an even lower price than most of the other coins that we have in these portfolios. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So, guys, let's take a look at our Bitcoin chart really quickly. And we've got a new range that we're operating in. If you recall, go back in time. When we started off this bull run, we started by really punching through the $30,000 resistance level. That was a pretty big deal. A very big deal, really. And then flirting with 40K. Once it retraced and then came back up and strongly punched through it again. And then we stayed in the 50 to 60 range for a little bit of time and then dipped back down for weeks in the 30 to 40K range, right? We've been back in this range for twice as long as when we started in this bull run. So it's kind of an interesting thing seeing us stay in that range for so long and then have so many people question, are we going to dip down, like break out of this range downward towards $20,000, which you told me I'm kind of skeptical of. I didn't think that was necessarily going to be the case. Or are we going to move up out of this range? And clearly we've moved up. Guys, if you remember the last time that we drew our chopsticks, it's been a few days, right? I said I wanted to take a little bit of time. It must have been, the 2nd of August. So a little over a week ago now, guys. But I wanted to see how this played out and see what more data we could get to figure out which direction we were really going. Back over on this, what is this? This is a teacup formation, right? Sort of quasi teacup formation or inverted teacup and handle here. I just wanted to know for sure that we had something else we could latch onto. Now we've got something of a trend line moving up, and we can draw some more chopsticks with some confidence in this direction because we've got some lower support and we've got some resistance lines here with these wicks right in the tops of these candles. We can actually try to figure out something that at least, in my very tender sensibilities here, my very young sensibilities for looking at these charts, we can just draw something that just kind of makes sense to a layperson without having it be overly complicated. But we did have that downward movement kind of correspond to MACD. Now we look like we're in an upward movement. Like generally we stayed up. Oh, John Clayton is saying, are you still at 32,000 resistance? Well, John, again, just looking at this, we haven't really broken downward out of 30K the entire time, roughly 31. So yeah, I think if you slice a line all the way through kind of the median of this chop here, I think, we are seeing 32. And now we're seeing the 200 day, right? Not go below 32 or 32.4. I think it's a very safe bet, right? For right now. I mean, again, knock on wood, this can change in 5 days, right? We can break downward and break back out of this new channel back downward in the next few days. And it's very difficult to be able to make those kinds of calls. People who think like they can call this stuff with that much accuracy, I really, really doubt it. But 32K right now, I think that's a pretty safe thing to say because of where the 200 day has stayed, right? But that said, I mean, we thought that was support, right? 32-ish before, and I don't know that it was validated by the 200-day moving average, but the fact that we've bounced off the 200-day moving average, kind of, for me, it gives me some confidence. Again, hashtag not advice, guys. But yeah, it's a great call there. I didn't even think about it in those terms. Because from my mind and from my money, I felt good about dollar cost averaging here. I'm still okay with it. I guess I was just kind of like voting with my feet, voting with my dollars, that I thought 32 was okay as far as bottom support. But, I'm not I don't think it's impossible. We could break down further before we do notice a parabolic run up towards the end of this particular market. Now that we're operating here, now that we're kind of trending here, maybe not. Maybe we don't see anything break down out of the $30,000 range. So yeah, just, but like, never say never, dude. This is crypto. Black swan events happen. Supply chain stuff changes. The China FUD this last time was not FUD, right? The hash rate actually did get displaced all around the world. So any number of things can happen that can shift a lot fast. And especially now with this new cryptocurrency provision going into the infrastructure bill, we don't know how this is going to shape up over the next several weeks. That's part of why I think it's very irresponsible to make any kind of price predictions before we move into the final formation of this bull run. And I do think that there is going to be one final leg up for this bull run. Will it be as tidy as 2017, where it's like right up towards New Year's? Man, I don't know. I have no idea. No clue. But I do think there's going to be one bigger final leg up, and it'll maybe be something like a blow off top or a double top like we saw in 2017. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it won't look like a double top. Maybe it'll look like just one big blow off and then like a partial recovery, right? So it'll be like it will be a double top, but it'll be like on the lower end, right? We'll be coming off the taper, right, with another top. Anyway. So some Goblin Loser asks, can we talk about the new bill being talked about, or was that already covered today? Yeah, it was covered, man. I'm sorry. But the bottom line is it didn't pass, right? Like the proposed changes weren't accepted. So the bill is going to go through as is. Kind of frustrating. John Clayton is saying, so far the chart looks a lot like 2017. Yeah, no, it does. It does look a lot like 2017. But every single bear market or every single bull market for Bitcoin has always looked a tiny bit different. So I wouldn't bank on it being identical, right, to the 2017 market. Anybody who's just mapping one market on top of the other, like, I think that's maybe a little useful, but it doesn't tell the whole story. So anyway, guys, I think we need to draw some new chopsticks here. Let me delete and delete. And let's zoom in just a little bit closer. We're going to stay on our 2-hour chart, guys. Again, for my comfort, I'm not going to look at one-day charts. I'm not going to look at definitely anything shorter than 2 hour, 15-minute chart or a minute chart. Like, get out of here, man. I'm not trying to give people heart attacks. So yeah, 2 hour kind of like lets us know what's been going on throughout the day without being overwhelming. Besides, I'm not executing whatever 10 trades a day. I don't need that much info for now. But let's get our chopsticks going. Chopstick number 1. And we'll draw this upward triangle, right? Oh. Ascending triangle. And we'll start at the top of our candlesticks. We'll kind of cut through our wicks there. The chopsticks, they don't touch. We need to fix it. All right. And we're going to call this good. We're going to probably squeeze this in a little bit more, though. Yeah. Sandor is saying RSI 3X Super T BB. Nice. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, guys. I've been working on this right now. I've got MACD overlaid right now. Been told before that I should add stochastic RSI, and I went out of town, so I'm not as comfortable, right, just having RSI be meaningful. But instead, as an oscillator, just add a stochastic RSI. Let's see. Indicators. Nope. Okay, stochastic RSI. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. See if we can add it. No! Shoot. I think I'm limited right now. It looks like I am, guys. Yep, I'm limited as far I'm maxed out in terms of the number of things I have drawn on this chart. I'll have to actually move to like a real account, a pro account in just a minute here. But yeah, in the meantime, draw these here. And where do they intersect? 47. What do you guys think? As an ascending triangle goes, drawing these chopsticks here. Am I for real, or am I like really smoking something? What do you think, guys and gals? Tell me in the comment section. Are my chopsticks liars? Or are you a liar? It can be only one or the other. It's definitely not me. Alrighty. Okay, Sandor saying Binance US lets you use guest sign in and add much more. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know that I'm doxxed on Binance US though. Yeah, I'm not sure. So that might be a no-go for me, Sandor. I'm not sure that I want to dox to Binance US just so I can get more tools here. It might be worth me just paying for a membership. I might be okay with that. Yeah, if it's free, you're the product. So, all right. The chopsticks, they never lie. They say 47-1. All right, guys, this is about as scientific as me rolling dice right now. You know this, right? Okay, just throwing it out there. Throwing it out there. Clearly, MACD, we're positive again. So, I don't know. I don't think it's impossible, guys. I don't think it's impossible that we move upward from here, but I'm not going to pretend. Right? I'm not going to pretend this is definitely the way that the market is heading. Guys, this usually helps us wrap up our show because I get so tired of hearing myself talk that I'm like, bruh, I can't do this anymore. But I do appreciate you being here all the way to the end of the video. Appreciate you being live, asking great questions, answering questions in the comment section, being such a supportive community member, being such an awesome contributor to other people. I've seen real time, you've seen real time, people in the comment section get their questions answered and, live their best lives because they got some really cool feedback from somebody who cared like you. So thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Thanks for sharing this video. And thanks for being subscribed and clicking the bell icon so you know when we're live. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.